Welcome back to the Lifeboat Podcast. My name is Levi Rinkma. I'm one of your co-hosts, and today we talked about telling people how you feel. It's a big conversation about emotions, and I thought we had a really great time. If you enjoyed it, let us know on our socials. We've got TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. The links will be in the bio. So I hope you enjoy.
Okay, so last episode we talked about how to build a lifeboat, and this episode we're talking about the big feelings, emotions, how we feel, how we can kind of like advocate for those feelings, and just start talking. So maybe a good way to start this episode is to kind of just ask y'all how your weeks have been.
Mine's been good.
Left your job.
I did. I left my job. I bought a toy excavator.
Yeah, we need you to explain that in
How much
detail.
did it cost?
It was $30. It's remote control. It's a good one.
I was about to freak out. I'm like,
Like, is it an actual like RC car level?
RC
I
excavator.
thought it was like a Hot
yeah.
Wheels excavator. I was like, homie, just
No,
wasted
brother.
$30.
This
on
thing
that.
is like-
because it's like I'm thinking about the stuff in the
right.
preschool
I'm thinking about
room.
the little small. Oh,
No.
you mean like the bigger ones?
No, the tiny ones.
Oh.
Like the preschool room ones.
It's
They're
like
tiny.
this long. It's this long. It is very fun. I was playing with it this morning.
Just digging.
Yep. And then I got a haircut.
Looks nice.
I helped Josh set up a shoot for church. And then I saw Inside Out 2,
Nice.
An emotional movie.
an emotional movie for an emotional guy.
Crazy.
Absolutely
What is your
terrible.
favorite emotion out of the Inside Out cast?
Ooh.
I don't know about Inside Out 2, but
No, from the original, definitely sadness.
rip.
Bro,
Not to
sadness
be
is-
depressing,
it's just
but
'cause she's
like-
funny, bro.
What's the elephant dude's name? I don't think he's an emotion, but I liked him.
The elephant.
Bing
Bing
bong.
Bong.
Who's your friend who likes to play?
Bing Bong. Bing Bong was my
Such a
favorite.
good
He was a
song,
vibe.
Dude, facts. Those TikToks where it's like,
The Bing
Go.
Bong edits.
go save Riley.
Yeah, it's great.
Man, that
It's
would get
crazy.
me.
I love Joy, though. Joy's pretty great.
She's okay.
I like feeling Joy, too.
Who doesn't?
I guess Chase. Shoot. His favorite sadness.
Sorry, I thought. No, Joy's cool.
Not as good as sadness.
No, it's
though.
good sadness. Though. You know, just gotta say it.
Fear's a vibe, though. I really liked Fear.
Fear's cool.
I'm not
Fear's
a very
cool.
fearful guy.
He's
so-
alright. He looks a little weird,
See,
to be honest.
Yeah,
I
that's
just,
the vibe.
I just don't get disgust. I don't get that. I like
She's like
personally, like
one of the mean girls.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
Smart man over there.
Smart man.
out here killing the game. Levi, how was your week, man?
I don't know. Whole family's out of the house. They're all at our cottage on the lake.
They
and
were a
so
rager.
that was the plan, but everyone's in Florida. And so,
That's
oh
so
well.
true. I apologize.
No, it's been good. Just a lot of working on school and working and helping out at church and all the getting ready for our church's camp event this summer. So
Woot woot.
a lot of boring fun, that's for sure.
It's not bad.
Some stagnation.
You should get a remote control
And a
excavator RC.
What if I get a remote control dump truck?
There you have those.
I know.
You should get that too. You should get that too. Yep.
Lord have mercy.
What are an auger? An auger would be fun.
What's
They have those.
Those dig post holes.
Oh, no, they don't. Just kidding. I lied. It's like a really big tractor that makes post holes.
It is.
For like things
literally
that, okay,
digs into
a
the
post hole is something that they use fences for.
How do you spell it?
AUGER.
AUGER.
We should invest in a lifeboat auger.
No.
Why not?
Why would we need one?
To dig post holes.
What do we need post holes
Think
for?
about all the mental health problems that could be solved by digging post holes.
False.
This is one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
One of those.
I mean,
If you can see it. I don't know why I'm doing this, but
Maybe we could just flash it on the screen.
what screen?
You know, people watch on a screen.
Oh, look, I'm so sorry. let's get back on track.
ain't no way.
Ain't no way we just talked about augers. I did kind of bring it up.
Yeah.
Well, you brought up excavator, so I feel like I'm valid.
Yeah, because it's cool. Anyways,
I'll believe you.
Chase, Davis,
Uh-huh.
how's your week?
Full government is crazy. I had a good week. It was all right. I went to work, went home, went back to work, went home, went to work again.
Did you go back home?
I sure did.
Awesome.
Go back to
it
work
was-
after that?
I sure didn't. No, I worked a little bit from the house, but I didn't do much. Then Thursday, I just chilled. Went to the church for some cool thing that I didn't participate in because too many unfamiliar faces. Got overwhelmed and walked away, and then drove home.
I was there for that.
That was fun. I literally walked upstairs, saw so many people I didn't know. Walked back downstairs, talked to Levi for about an hour, and then drove home.
Oh, I went to the Stripers game and they were giving away free fries from Wingstop and they were giving away free samples too.
How'd that make you feel?
Dude, I was like, free food, let's go. Dude, that was awesome. Anyways, sorry. Someone said fries. You said fries,
Yeah,
Wingstop. So I was like,
that's great. Highly recommend. Get you some Wingstop fries and ranch. The ranch is great.
They should sponsor us.
Say
Cut that
expensive.
out. No. Oh, you cut that out. You're editing. No. Okay. But no. We brain fart. Someone else pick up for me.
You're weak. It's your week.
Oh, we're still going about that.
this guy.
Sorry, I lost for thought. Yeah, but other than that, I've been playing a bunch of video games. Elden Ring, great game.
How's that DLC?
Oh, it's terrible. I keep dying. It's not fun. Not a fun time. Waste of $40 in my opinion, but it'll get better.
Could not imagine.
But now we're here, so good week.
Well, I mean, that brings us to our theme. I mean, it's all about emotions.
Big feelings, yeah.
Talking about them. Understanding. I mean, it's kind of a big blanket just to say discussing emotions, but it involves like knowing what the emotions are, what they mean, how to talk about them, and how to, as, someone, just to go back to last episode, as someone that's on a lifeboat, how to receive someone's emotions and help them in their progress to get better.
All right.
That's a lot.
We can
It
kind
is.
of, I think, a good way to like dissect this episode is just kind of like split them in half.
Yeah.
Being on the receiving side and being on like the having side.
Yeah.
We can start with having. I feel like that's a better way to start.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. So the big feelings. Sorry, this is so awkward. I'm not one of those people. You doing a counter?
Yeah.
Oh, the big feeling counter. I forgot about that.
Said it twice so far.
Yeah. Not really the best at them. So
At feeling them? Or
yeah. I mean, a little bit of both.
I hope we all feel about
Like I'm very aware of what I'm feeling.
Yeah.
I'm just not very good at expressing that.
Expressing it.
Yeah.
I feel like we always talk about feeling your emotions and then expressing them. But interpreting them is, I think, a whole nother ordeal. Because I went through my whole depression journey was, it's actually more so anxiety than depression. But I would feel so many things and I didn't know what they mean. Like I didn't know why I was feeling them or just what they meant. And I couldn't talk about it because I didn't know like anything. Like I didn't know what it
Right.
meant, why it meant, how, or like it
Who
was
it
just a
meant.
conundrum. What it meant, yeah, for the 8th time. So I feel like figuring out how to interpret your emotions is a very particular thing for each person. Because for me, like I said last episode, understanding, when I get closed off and tired and kind of just curt, it usually is a really good signifier of that I'm getting depressed and that things, if unchecked, can go wrong rather quickly. What do you think?
I'm trying to think. So, just to clarify, for interpret, we're talking about like taking a second to like look and see why you're feeling that way, right?
Yeah, why you're feeling that way and like what am I feeling and why am I feeling each of these things? So you take like this fruit basket of emotions and pick out the orange and the apple and see what it is and then why am I feeling it?
Okay. I'm one of those people who take a little bit more time to like that interpretation process. Hope I said that right. But when I get there, it's easy for me. It does take some time for a situation to like cool down, because throughout the situation, if I'm angry, I'm gonna stay heated. I'm just one of those people who's like, you pissed me off, so I'm pissed off until like the situation either dealt with or we come to like a resolution of it. So yeah.
No, I mean that's very valid. I feel like we all kind of disregard a lot of our emotions a lot of the time.
Yeah.
I think I'm with Chase, where it takes me a little bit to process it or like interpret it, I guess. Even like after things have been resolved and stuff. Because sometimes we'll resolve stuff and I'm like, I don't want to talk to him still.
That leftover resentment
Yeah.
is crazy.
Yeah, but I mean, it just takes a minute, and then I'm like, I'm good now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just that rest period. I feel like I'm kind of the opposite. I process my emotions very quickly and will get them wrong, I feel like half the time. Like, heck, we were all in the game last night, and we were talking about the next game in a storyline. And I was told that my opinion was invalid by Chase, and I was like, screw this guy. He's the worst. I hate him. Absolutely cannot stand that. And I literally sat there for the next 10 minutes. I was like, you're an idiot. He's right. Like, I wasn't feeling what I thought I was feeling. You know, it was one of those stupid things, and you just get over it. And so I feel like I'm kind of the exact opposite. I go really quick. And for the most part, I feel like I get them right. But that second part of like that leftover resentment is more just me. That's when I take the long process of learning about what I was feeling.
Right.
Reflection.
I don't know. For some people, I feel like it's either easier to just disregard the feelings in totality, or like take the time to analyze them. And I feel like the more majority side is just to disregard them because it's not affecting me. It won't affect me if I like push it to the side.
Yeah.
But as we know, we talked about, those will fester up after a while.
I think disregarding your emotions during the moment is an okay thing in certain scenarios.
Oh, yeah. Like if you're mad and
Yeah.
you know that if you say something, it makes the situation 10 times worse, it's okay to be like, I'm going to hold my tongue, I'm gonna sit this one out.
Yeah.
And then, later you could have like a one-on-one conversation with whoever made you mad and be like,
Right.
look, I'm still a little mad about this, but I think you should know about it so we can figure out something out.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, Keenan and I did that a ton. Last month?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Whole made-up beef about nothing.
Yep. Well, no, for you, it was nothing. For
Yeah,
me, it was everything.
It was literally nothing. But yeah, there's definitely scenarios in which disregarding your emotions is, I guess, key. I don't want to say that just because I feel like some people will take it that, you should disregard your emotions
Right.
at the time, which is not true. I think for the most part, we should feel our emotions and understand them without getting stuck on them. I think that's another thing that a lot of us do is we get stuck where we are, and we can't understand how to get past that.
Yeah.
Which goes with expressing your emotions and talking about them.
I know I've talked about how I'm not good at it, but I know you are. So you want to kind of like,
Yeah, I don't know. I hate being hung up on things, and I really, really try and improve myself because for a long time it was nothing but negative. Like my life was, starting in 2019, it felt like my life was just a downhill. That like I'd done nothing in high school. I hadn't progressed anywhere. I gained a ton of weight. My mental state had gotten so much worse. I had gone to a college with like a 90% acceptance rate. Like everything I felt was just, woe is me. And so right around 2021, 2022, I just was like, shut up, dude. You got to start talking about it. Like, and I didn't really express it to anyone, but once I found my therapist, I just opened up to him like, yeah, I'm feeling this, and I'm pretty sure I'm depressed. And he's like, well, you nailed it. Like, you are depressed.
I have to leave the room. So, I mean,
You're anxious and you have social anxiety now. And I was like, oh, okay. And he's like, the only way, you just got to talk about it. Like, keep talking about it. That's one of the best ways to make it go away is to realize that it's not all that and that it's kind of small. And so for me, talking about my emotions and talking about my mental state is really easy. I mean, we've created a podcast where we yap about our emotions and our mental state.
Yapaholics.
And for me, it's easy. I really like it. It's fun. I get to talk about how I've become better and how I can always be better. So I love it. It's for me, that's like a meditation of sorts. I get to work through what I've been through and be open about it and hopefully help others about it. That's my motivation for talking, at least.
I like talking because it gives me a chance to express my voice in situations where I normally can't. It also gives me a chance to better lead people than I am. Let me restart. It gives me a chance to show people the other side of me that they don't normally get to see. Because most of the time I'm fun, I'm goofy, I say stupid things, but like on here I can come in and be like semi-serious to serious and like really get deep, and
You get to express the part of you that you protect.
yeah.
All right.
That's one of my
And then I
favorite
show
parts.
the world.
Laid open to bear.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that great? What about you, Chase? You don't love yapping.
No, I hate it. Unless it's like comics or video games. Pop culture is great for me. Love it. But when it comes to like, I'm gonna say it again. The big feelings. I don't like talking about it. I'm sorry. I just really like that
That's
word.
3.
I like that phrase.
It's great.
No. Recently I realized that for me to like be more comfortable with the people I choose to like have in my life, I have to open up about what I'm going through. I can't just sit on it and then expect people to like say, "Oh wow, I didn't know you were going through that." It's like, no, I didn't tell you.
Yeah.
I can't expect people to like feel what I'm feeling for me.
Yeah.
I have to express that for myself, and it's a little bit challenging because I don't talk a lot
Yeah.
about like previous things that happened in my life. I just like to kind of just push them aside and move forward. But
Yeah.
growth and just how you move forward and how you words are hard. Yeah.
No, I think with that, there's also many different ways to express what you are feeling. Like it doesn't have to be just straight yapping. Like it doesn't have to be that. That's something that we've gotten really comfortable with. I know Jonathan, who was on an episode, 2-3 episodes ago, Coping Mechanisms. He writes poetry.
I
does.
love
It's
his
so good.
poetry, bro.
It's awesome. It does not work for me. I hate writing poetry. It drives me crazy. But it works for him. He's able to understand what he's feeling and express that in such a genius way that is perfect for him.
Right.
And something that I've started to do is I'll write out a text. And I'll write it in my notes app. And I'll formulate my thoughts. And if it's healthy, I'll send it. If not, I'll have to call 4 people to tell me not to send it because I will. But that's been another way of me expressing my feelings. I'll just sit there and like write everything I'm feeling. And I hate that you did this. I'm super disappointed in you. I thought we were really good friends, yada yada yada. And I'll sit back and I'm like, I definitely shouldn't send this, but I really want to. So I'm gonna call a lot of people just to tell me that I shouldn't. But
No, I definitely get
and
that.
music's one of them. Photography's another. Like there are so many different ways to express your emotions outwardly rather than inwardly.
Yeah. It's funny you brought up writing because I do that a lot too. I have a notepad. I'm almost at a piece of paper. Sorry. Oh my gosh. Whoo. Jeez. Sorry. I have a
Bro, was he
notepad.
rapping.
Mumble rapping. No, I have a notepad. I'm almost at sheets of paper. That's how much I write. If something kind of like rubs me the wrong way, or if I'm like in like a really bad mood, I kind of just take the time to write out whatever it was, and when I'm done, after a while, tear it off the notepad, crumble it up, throw it in the trash, and then move on with my day.
See, I couldn't throw it away. I can't throw away anything I write.
I do what you do, or I'll type a text, and if
Yeah.
I think it's okay, I'll be like, yeah, that sounds about right. And then I'll send it. Like when I texted
Literally,
you,
I was just about to say that. I had one in my files, and it was like, shouldn't send that. And then I retyped it.
when
and
I
that was the one I
texted
sent
you,
to
I typed it onto my notes, and then I called Chase because Chase knew how I was feeling about it.
Yep.
And then I was like, should I send this? Because I want to, but I feel like it's mean. And he was like, maybe reword it a little bit. So I did. And then I was like, take that.
Smash that send button.
Yep. I remember reading that, and I was like, how dare he? And I thought about it, and I was like, most of it's valid. But that how dare he, I immediately went into my notes, created all. You have a Kean tab now in my notes.
That's insane.
Chase, I'm sure you'll get there one day.
I
For you,
hope
Josh.
not.
But I was sitting there and I was like, that's stupid, that's dumb. You totally misinterpreted everything I've said. And then I was like, that's just wrong. And so I created a new one and I sent you whatever. But that's a very valid, I feel, way to discuss, because it's reviewing your work, which is a very scholarly way of going about it. But like, you're reviewing what you've done, you're reviewing what you've said and how you truly feel. Because once you take that time to write something out and you reread it, you're like, oh, but I actually don't feel that way. And that word's way too harsh. Like, I don't hate you. I just hate the decision you've made. And then you'll go back again and you're like, well, I actually don't hate it. I'm just mildly peeved at it, you know? So I really like writing. Writing, as much as I hate writing big essays, writing out what you're feeling in text and all the like is a great idea.
There is the one method, the sounding board. Those people, like I know I have
Yep.
I have
What?
Adam that I like tell everything to if I know I know I'm in the right and he can agree with me. So therefore I talk to Adam so I know I'm right? But then I have Ryan or Jay who are like, no, you're in the wrong.
Yep.
You should definitely go ahead and apologize or like do this, and that. I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's definitely those conversations where you're sitting there like, this happened and I am super, super upset that it went this way. And I really don't think I'm in the wrong. Am I in the wrong? And for me, it's kind of all the same person. Just like, I'll go to whoever about whatever, if it fits. And
Right.
I'm like, am I wrong? Am I right? What's going on? Like, am I truly misunderstanding? And, I really like that, the sounding board idea.
yeah, it's
too.
good to get different perspectives, other than your own.
Hearing yourself
Right.
is key, and like understanding why you're feeling a certain way. Just hear whatever you've said back to yourself, and whether that be through someone agreeing or disagreeing on the validity of what you think is really important.
Right.
I agree. Like the other day, when Adam was like, nah, Keaton's right. I agree with him. I was like, let's go. And then sometimes he's like, nah, bro.
You're onto nothing.
You should not have said that. And I'm like,
He's a very straight to the point human.
dang it.
Yes, he is a cornerstone of discussion.
Great
Is
guy.
Adam. For sure.
Okay, so I guess we'll talk about, like from last episode, you talked about how to build a lifeboat, how to get those people who love you and that you love, just surrounded by you. How can we kind of like express our feelings? Or I skipped a whole section. Hit the brakes. We were talking about the receiving side of it. Have we
Yeah.
talked about that?
No, we didn't.
Cool.
Nope.
Then we'll do that then. Sorry, I apologize. My brain is just.
I feel like it's very similar to what we've talked about, last episode, in that if you are one of the people that someone's come to you and said, hey, this is going on, Keaton's just going through it right now, I guess.
These headphones are hurting my head.
I feel like if you are one of those chosen to, if you are choosing to invest in someone, when you're hearing someone, kind of got to be like Adam and be respectful, but tell the truth. Like,
Right.
you got to be real. And in certain scenarios, that isn't what someone needs. Someone needs to simply be heard or held or to be acknowledged. They don't
Right.
need them to, like, sometimes I'll go to my parents and I'm like, I know I'm wrong, but I need you to tell me, or I don't even need you to tell me anything. I just need to tell you about it. And I don't want them to tell me I'm wrong because I'm a prideful dude. And I think when you are receiving someone's emotions, I guess that's a good way to phrase it. When you're receiving someone's thoughts, it very much depends on the scenario. You know, you got to be forthright with what is right or wrong, or you need to be accommodating to what they need in the scenario.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I like it. I like that thought that depending on who the person is and what is going on, you've got to be real with them.
Yeah. I definitely try to do that myself, but there are certain situations where I'm like, maybe it's better if I'm just a listener in this aspect. And I feel like that can also be hard because, of course, you want to tell them
Yeah.
how like they should proceed or move forward because you want what's best for them, but your opinion is not always the best solution to what they're going through. I don't know. I just thought that was
No,
worth
that was
mentioning.
huge. Your opinion's not always what they need in that scenario.
Right.
That's
That
awesome.
is good. There's sometimes when like people text me for advice or something, and they send this really long paragraph of how they're feeling, and it might take me a minute because I'll be reading it, and then I have to text them like halfway through, be like, I promise I'm not ignoring. I'm dyslexic and I'm just trying to understand.
The dyslexia part is very important.
So I'm just like, I just need a second to process what you just told me. And then, when I finish reading it, I'll take a minute and I'll be like, okay, maybe do this. Maybe don't do that.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Are y'all on more on the receiving side? Like, what's better for you personally? Like, to receive someone's emotions or like to express them to somebody? I know you mentioned express. How about you, Kian?
I don't know. I feel like when I express my emotions, I feel really, really good afterwards. But I also enjoy receiving and helping others, you know? So I don't know. I feel like I'm right there in the middle.
Okay. Like, I prefer the receiving side because then I don't have to figure out my own stuff. Because I also feel like sometimes my tendency to express my emotions can be destructive, which is a big reason why I also keep it to myself. I'm like, I don't know if me popping off on this scenario would cause problems, or I'm super self-conscious of like how to keep the ones around me. So of course the way I feel also depends on the person I'm talking to as well.
Which is what I think that lifeboat's for.
Yeah.
Is that you have those people that like inner corporate, like for me, that's my parents. My parents, no matter how hard I could become a meth addict tomorrow, they wouldn't push me away. They would lovingly slap me in the back of the head and tell me what's up, but they wouldn't push me away. They would help correct me and guide me on that course. And so I think, when you are expressing your emotions, you need that one person that's just going to always guide you, that's never going to walk away, that's always just going to be like, you know what? I hate that you're doing this, but this is what's going on. And I think we all need that as through both expressing your emotions and receiving your emotions. Like when you receive someone else's emotions, you got to be that person if they've chosen you for that. And if you truly care about that person, if you are that next level, you got to be real. And yes, it's different according to the scenario, but you got to be real. You got to be honest,
Yeah.
Okay, now back to the other point that we discussed, like lifeboats and stuff. How do we express those emotions, and kind of like focus on how to move past them with those people? Sorry. Did that make sense? If it didn't make sense, please say
Like-
something.
It almost made sense.
Let me say it back.
Yeah, go ahead and say
So
it.
like when you're expressing your emotions to someone that you might have a problem with, right? Is that what you're trying to say, or just like in general? Not like a problem, but like you're expressing your emotions to someone,
Right.
right? Now, what was the second half of that? All right, ladies and gentlemen. So Chase asked the question that we didn't understand, so we brought in our understanding questions expert, Joshua Cherian.
I don't like that title, but it's okay. I'm going to start off. I also don't understand the question. There was a lot that I thought could be helpful to add to this episode. Mainly the thing in my head, because I don't think emotions are bad, and I don't think telling people about your emotions are bad, but I think who you tell certain emotions to, there's a wisdom with that it's not just anyone and everyone. because I know you said you have like certain people who you talk to about certain things.
Right.
I think my head was like, it would be helpful to understand why.
Okay.
So my
No, that's
head
good.
is like, I will always tell people certain things. Or first of all, I have my own lifeboat of people who I look up to, who I want to be like. Not necessarily like they all share the same values as me. They push me to be better. I think that's a very, very important thing. Oh, does it sound better when I talk like this or like this? I don't
Like
know.
that, yeah.
And so like anyone who's in my quote unquote lifeboat, it's like those are people who they have traits that I like would aspire to have as well. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
And so when I share my emotions with people, I probably also am like, okay, well, I'm not necessarily going to go share some of what I'm going through with people who necessarily wouldn't tell me what I necessarily want to hear, but like what I need to hear kind of thing.
Right.
So like I would need like an Adam, not necessarily saying it is Adam. Adam, I love you.
Nice shout out.
Like there would be times where I would go to Adam, but there are other times where I'm like, oh, I'm really kind of going through something that I need someone who shares what I believe, how like my same values as me, because that will then guide how they give me feedback as well.
Absolutely.
And I think that that is a very important thing of like your filter has to semi be the same or else your values have to be the same or else it's just not going to be helpful.
Okay.
Like I could easily see you share something with, I'm going to say Jay, and he maybe is like, oh yeah, you're in the right or you're in the wrong. But it's like, if his values are different than your values, then maybe
There's gonna be different things.
it's skewed. Does that make sense?
No, I definitely understand where you're coming from with that.
So maybe it might be helpful to talk about that or something.
I can go more in depth on it. Since we talked about Jay. Jay and I were in very similar seasons of life. Not too long ago. Kind of just like unemployed, just depression, and
Shout out to Kean's situation.
he's employed.
I know he's employed. Not till the 8th, technically.
So you're unemployed.
Technically, I'm still employed.
Okay.
I'm just on leave.
Well,
Anyways.
then he didn't leave his job.
Liar.
It's leave of absence, bro.
Anyways, continue.
I'm not going back.
So whenever I was basically just not feeling great life-wise, he'd be the person I turn to and the person I talk to. And the same with Ryan. Like there's only stuff that we know about that we can discuss. And like it's just like it's a similar situation type thing. So if I need to talk to someone about my faith, it's one of you three. It's people who go to church and who understand where my head might be at in that. So I do have different people for different things, if that kind of makes sense.
You know what I'd never understand or never understood? Like people in like really serious relationships who are going through a really hard time in the relationships end up talking to a high schooler about their relationship. And I'm like, why wouldn't you like talk to someone who's like, I don't know, married
Yeah.
or something?
Yeah.
Like,
Who actually did that and made it out?
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Maybe
it's
that'd
like,
be smart.
it like sometimes the way that I look at emotions, and maybe it's wrong. Emotions have a time and place. Because I think there was something earlier that you were saying that in my head, I think you're saying that sometimes emotions are good, or like sometimes you have to push it off to the side. In my head, one of the most valuable things that I had to learn was how to compartmentalize my feelings, because in like a leadership position, something can happen to me and I still have like a team of people that I still have to take somewhere, and like we have to get things done, and I can't just be like, okay, well now I have like paralysis, like a decision paralysis, because I'm sad and I can't make a decision, even though that's happened before. But it's been one of the things where it's like I had to learn how to compartmentalize my feelings in order to lead people better.
Yeah.
Like I think emotions are good, and I think they're healthy to have. It's just there's a time and place in which to feel and to share. And
Absolutely.
that was like a thing that I was like, use the word compartmentalize, because
That's a good word
Dang.
for it, yeah.
That is a good one.
Compartmentalize.
If we could
is
say it.
Exactly what I was thinking. I just couldn't. First of all, couldn't say it, I guess.
that was something I learned in the residency.
Yeah.
What?
Compartmentalize.
Compartment.
Compartmentalize.
Yeah. Dyslexia queen over here.
Dyslexia hitting hard on that one.
What? Your Mac has low battery.
Oh yeah, she'll die soon.
We're gonna move on.
Like
from
Robin
that.
Williams.
All right. So
Crazy, bro. There's no way.
Ian genuinely found out today by me that Robin Williams sadly killed himself and that he didn't just die.
Goes to show, comedy is sometimes a front
we're
for depression.
not letting you have that.
No, it very much is.
No, it is.
My funniest was 2020 for sure. I peaked. I peaked humor wise.
In 2020?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. That was when I was the most depressed. Without
I was
a
going to
doubt.
say, I was like,
Yeah.
did depression help?
Yeah.
Your comedy?
Yeah. It's a, what is that called when it's positive?
Exponential- no.
Exponential.
Yeah.
It's an
Exponential
exponentially
growth.
positive graph right there.
That's when he developed dark humor.
Dark humor is funny.
Dark humor is funny.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I was listening to and something popped in my head. Those are like the top two. Honestly, the first one that I said probably would have been better for the first episode of like knowing who to have in your lifeboat. Because I think it is important to not just have people who love you. Because here's the thing, people can love you and like they're a good hang. That does not necessarily mean that I want them speaking into like some of the bigger decisions in my life.
Yeah, that
That's
makes
fair,
sense.
too.
I feel like I mentioned that a little bit. But
You could have, I
not to the extent that I think you're thinking.
I don't know. To me, it's just really important. But
It
No,
is,
thank
yeah.
you for putting your input
Absolutely.
input.
Boop.
All right. I think that's all that I wanted to add. But I was like, big
No, that's
things,
fine.
big feelings.
in. Big feelings. I think everybody should say it together. Like we should all say just big feelings. Like as
Ready?
a
Ready?
group.
Ready?
Big feelings sounds like Ben Schilling.
Bing chilling.
Been chilling.
Bing chilling. Bing chilling.
So we're at 6 right now. So if we all say it once, we'll be at 10.
I think that's the perfect time.
I thought Chase was the only one who counted.
No, we're counting every.
Oh, then we're at like 10
It's a
already.
big feelings.
I forgot I
episode.
was sitting here and I was like, if we said it 6 times and we all say it once, that would be 9 because I forgot I was. Anywho,
Lord have mercy.
all right, Chase.
Well, unless y'all have anything else to say.
No, I think we've
we
covered it.
said everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed this conversation.
I say it again.
Go ahead, Ian.
You don't always have to be drowning.
Just hop
in
on the
the-
lifeboat.
I'm gonna hurt you.
All right. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you guys next time.
Compartmentalize.